It's a glorious weekend for Liverpool. Messi and Ronaldo steal the show. Haaland hits a hat-trick. We've got a transfer roundup and Emoji Mondays all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich. You are the Onefootballers, and this is the Daily News. First off, and as we mentioned, it's been a pretty good weekend for Liverpool fans. For Liverpool as a club, as they yet again won to extend their lead at the top of the Premier League. Now, if it wasn't good enough that they beat Manchester United, who not only are a massive rival, but they also picked up another 3 points, there was also Chelsea who dropped points at Newcastle, Manchester City at home to Crystal Palace. Spurs were denied by Watford in the very last minute. And to be honest, out of the top 8, aside from Liverpool, the other 7, only one of them picked up all 3 points this weekend. That was Wolves against Southampton. Regardless, unless Manchester City or Leicester don't win, which Leicester didn't as well after a 2-1 loss to Burnley, it really means that Liverpool can go about extending their lead at the top of the Premier League, which now stands at 16 points and a game in hand. As for the overall game, I thought Liverpool weren't completely dominant throughout. Manchester United had some very good spells, and in particular, I thought Fred in the middle of the park was fantastic at controlling the game. But for me, it just seems like Liverpool, and especially the two centre-halves of Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez, are so comfortable when defending a lead. If they score an early goal like they did, they don't need to go out and get a second. They can sit back, defend exceptionally well, and look for the right time to go on and double their lead without really fearing that they're going to concede, especially against the Manchester United side without Marcus Rashford, and that may be the case now for almost 2 months. So when did the opportunity come to double their lead? In the 94th minute. Alisson with a banger ball all the way over the top, and Mo Salah ran through, showed incredible strength and energy to get on the end of it and then slide the ball past David De Gea. A deserved win for Liverpool, and right now there's just absolutely nothing that can stop them. But moving on and to Serie A and La Liga, where Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi are doing what they do best, scoring the goals that win the games for their clubs. For Barcelona, it was a case of Quique Setien getting off to a winning start as Lionel Messi coolly slotted home the winner against Granada. And as for Juventus, Cristiano Ronaldo at the double. This is an unbelievable run of form for Cristiano. That's 6 league goals in his first 3 games of 2020. He's now scored 7 in a row for Juventus, which is the first player to do so since David Trezeguet scored 9 in a row in 2005. That being for Juventus. But the one question I had, aside from Cristiano Ronaldo doing it for Juve, about Barcelona's game, is 1-0 against Granada that good a result? Now, I know they had 82% possession, which is actually the best since 2011, but I'm just going to ask the question to Barcelona fans. If Ernesto Valverde had been in charge of a 1-0 win at home to Granada, who, for all intents and purposes, they should be beating by a lot more goals than that, would it have been a successful day? The fact that a new manager comes in, it's sort of, yes, we're on the right track. To me, from the outside, it just looks like Messi saved Barcelona yet again, and there wasn't really too much to shout about from a managerial point of view. Of course, they're going to give the new manager time, that goes without saying, and you'll see in the bigger games like the Champions League throughout the rest of the campaign whether or not he's really having a positive impact. Although, mentioning the Champions League very quickly, Barcelona are coming up against Napoli, who are on a shocking run of form at the moment and sit in mid-table in Serie A, so maybe that won't be too difficult. But moving on to the Bundesliga, where amongst loads of other stories, Erling Haaland made the headlines. Now, it's sort of a thing at a Football Manager or FIFA. You hear about this wonder kid. He's banging in goals at RB Leipzig. You think, do you go and spend the 20 to 30 million euros on him, hoping it'll be a success? You do. He comes on 21 minutes later into his debut after coming on as a substitute. He's bagged 3 goals, and Dortmund find themselves 5-3 up at Augsburg. This is just a magnificent result in itself after going down to Augsburg 3-1, but to then go and turn it around, I mean, this is just ridiculous. This means that Haaland, in his first 3 shots in the Bundesliga, scored a hat-trick. His first 3 shots in the Champions League earlier in the season, he also scored a hat-trick against Genk. He now has 6 hat-tricks this season. It really begs the question why so many other teams around Europe who are reportedly interested in him, especially Manchester United, Leipzig, and a few others as well, didn't really go in and make that extra effort to secure it. I mean, even if he does flop to the end of the season, only scores a few more goals, 25 million or so isn't really the biggest risk in today's market. I can think of 1 or 2 clubs in the Premier League, especially Spurs and United, who right now could do with a striker like him, especially for that price. So next up, we come to a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news. Reinier Jesus has now turned 18, which means Real Madrid can confirm his signing from Flamengo for 30 million euros. PSG sporting director Leonardo has confirmed that Edinson Cavani has asked to leave the club. Mario Balotelli was sent off after only 7 minutes after coming on for pressure against against Cagliari, and Bayern Munich have said they will not be triggering the option to buy clause in Ivan Perisic's loan deal from Inter Milan. So next up, we take a look back at Friday Feels. This is where you guys left your footballing predictions for the weekend's games in the comments section on the Daily News on Friday. So first up, and Khaled Abu Omar guessed that Ronaldo would score and that Bayern and Leipzig would win. And Blade Alpha guessed that Liverpool would run out 2-0 victors over Manchester United. And lastly but not least, Niloy Das guessed that Schalke would be 2-0 victors over Gladbach as well. So welcome to Emoji Mondays. This is where we throw down a couple of emojis over some of the weekend's action, starting with the best player from the weekend. And the winner of the best player is Rayan Cherki. I hope I've said that right. The 16-year-old Lyon player had an unbelievable game in their French Cup game against Nantes. Lyon eventually ran out 4-3 winners, but the midfielder managed to score 2 goals, get 2 assists, and could have had a 3rd assist had the penalty that he'd won been converted. Surely more top European clubs will be stepping up and taking notice of this wonder kid at just 16 years old. Next up, and the crazy moment, we've already spoken about it, but it's Erling Braut Haaland's hat-trick for Dortmund. As you mentioned, to come on a bag of hat-trick in your first Bundesliga game after such a big money move, really top stuff from the striker. And lastly but not least, we have the result of the weekend, and this goes to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Nuno Espirito Santo's side found themselves 2-0 down at St Mary's before a stunning comeback, courtesy of 2 assists from Adama Traore, helped them seal all 3 points. So there you have Emoji Mondays. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below, and the rest of your thoughts on today's daily news. Whilst you're down there, you can smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on OneFootball. But until next time, have a great week, and I'll see you guys later.